Absolutely incredible.
Here, within a secret tomb under the age-old temples, lies the 7-ton sarcophagus of Palenque's 7th century ruler, Pakal the Great.
Lord Pakal apparently died here at Palenque. He was apparently this mysterious Mayan leader. He was a giant, 7 or 8 feet tall, actually. And then they built this pyramid around his tomb. The Mayans literally worshipped him as some kind of a god.
King Pakal's sarcophagus is adorned with a carving that has become a famous example of classic Mayan art.
On this slab, an incredible chiseling. You see a man, and he's sitting in a sort of capsule. He has some sort of mask on his nose, and you see his upper hand, he's manipulating some controls. From the lower hand, he's turning something on. The heel of his left foot is on a kind of pedal, and outside of the capsule, you see a linking flame. This is incredible. This is absolutely a proof for extraterrestrials.
3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
But Lord Pakal may not have been the only alien who once walked the Palenque ruins.
The Mayans had such an advanced calendar and mathematical system. Why were they so obsessed with the stars? One of the most advanced of any ancient cultures. And yet, the Mayans just vanished around 500 AD. We don't know where they went. And one explanation is that the Mayans were some kind of extraterrestrials, and they literally left our planet.
According to most scientists and archaeologists, the Great Pyramid of Giza was completed in just 20 years. Given that there's over 2.5 million blocks, that means the Egyptians would have to quarry, move, and set a block every 30 seconds of every hour of every day for the whole construction period. But that's not the only mystery. In 1877, author and theologian Joseph Seiss demonstrated that the Great Pyramid resides at the intersection of the longest line of latitude and the longest line of longitude, the exact center of all the landmass in the world. Also, each of the 4 sides aligns almost precisely with the 4 points of the compass, though such an instrument wasn't even designed until thousands of years later. There are other unexplained mysteries, like the Antikythera, often described as the world's first computer. It dates back over 2,000 years.
The Antikythera device was found in 1900 by sponge divers, diving off a small island in the Aegean called Antikythera. There was a shipwreck there, and in it was a coral-encrusted box, and it was made of metal alloys. And it then went to the Athens Museum, where a good 50 years later, they were able to X-ray this box, and they were able to discern cogged wheels that were interconnected and give us a very good depiction of what this thing was. And it is a computer. It's a really sophisticated machine.
This is the site of the Mayan pyramids of Tikal. It was recently discovered how perfect the pyramids correlate to the star map of the Pleiades-Orion region of the sky. An overhead view of the structures exactly mirrors the dimensions of the construction. This same outline has been spotted in an area far from Tikal. Much, much farther. Also recently discovered, on the surface of Mars, a cluster of landforms offers a near-perfect replication of the pyramid patterns of Tikal. 3 distinct locations. 1 unique pattern. Coincidence or design?
Civilizations such as the Aztecs and the Mayans and the Hopi Indians of northern Arizona, they believe that the world has been destroyed 4 times in the past. One time by ice, once by fire, once by water.
One has to understand I was a very, very deep believer in God. By the way, I'm still a believer in God. I never lost my God. But for a young man, my God had to be almighty. My God would never need a vehicle in which to move around, a vehicle to go from point A to point B.
In what Christians refer to as the Old Testament, there are in fact several accounts of God and his angels visiting the earth. Sometimes these visitations are accompanied by tremendous noise and clouds of billowing smoke. In the book of Ezekiel, for example, the prophet claims that he witnessed a visitation by heavenly beings coming down from the sky aboard a fantastic flying machine. As far as Von Daniken is concerned, it's a highly detailed description of an alien sighting.
This is incredible. Ezekiel not only describes what he sees, he also describes what he hears. He describes the whole thing as being the splendorness of God. Inside there was something like a throne, and on this throne was a being sitting, looking like a human in glittering clothes. And beneath it, he saw some vehicles, he saw some wings. He describes the noise of the wings. He describes the noise of the wings with the thundering of a waterfall.
Ezekiel saw his wheel within a wheel. This sounds more high-tech than supernatural, and we can't suppose that people 3,000 years ago would understand the difference between the supernatural and high-tech.
In May of 2008, a startling proclamation was issued by the Vatican. For the first time in its 2,000-year history, the Catholic Church acknowledged the possibility that intelligent life could exist on other planets, and that the belief in extraterrestrials did not contradict a belief in God. A bold and new theory is now being debated that involves the head-on collision of a Mars-sized planet early on in the forming of our Earth. In order for two fully developed planets to collide with one another, an anomaly of cosmic size must have disrupted the continual progression of a celestial orbit. So, what caused our two planets to merge? This is what is being called the 3,600-year elliptical orbit of Nibiru. The Sumerians believe this is why our Earth has a moon.
We now believe that the moon is the result of a very large impact between the Earth about 4.5 billion years ago and a planet probably the size of Mars.
Recently added to the courtyard of the Vatican Museum spins a golden globe created by Italian sculptor Arnaldo Pomodoro. Many believe that this arcane structure is further proof that the Vatican is withholding imminent information from the public. Could this be a depiction of the planet of the crossing?